Good evening, BookTube. Welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. And I am again once again off for 2 days, and hopefully it will stay that way because last week when I was off, actually it was probably only a few days ago when I was off for 2 days, I lost one of the days. So hopefully it will stay that way because there's always a lot of reading I want to do on my 2 days off. So first of all, tomorrow I'm probably gonna go to the library, just get that done now, and then actually we're gonna go. I finally was able to convince my dad to go with me to see It, Chapter 2. And yes, I will finally get to see that. I was worried that I would have to wait until it came out on DVD or Blu-ray, because I don't have a lot of friends here that to go to the movies, at least not yet. Who knows if it will ever happen, but, and then my 3 best friends that I have are 2 of them are back in Maryland, and then one of them is in Florida, so, although I will see her in October, as long as I get the time off, but, who knows, I don't know if we'll get a chance to see it or not. I don't know if we would have gotten a chance to see it or not, and there's 2 other movies I want to see as well, one really. The other one I'm not as interested in. The one that she really wants to see, I'm not as interested in it. It's the Joker movie, and nothing against Joaquin Phoenix, and I'm sure the movie's gonna be great. I don't like the whole realistic approach to the Batman universe, or I should say the Gotham universe. I'm not a big fan. I have the Dark Knight movie, because I agree, like, Heath Ledger's performance is amazing, but I'm not a big fan of that kind of story, that type of way of looking at that universe. I prefer the more, not exactly cheesy, cartoonish approach. Although I did like the original 4 movies that came out back in the 90s, which kind of took a more cheesy approach. I still like them because I like a lot of the people that were cast in those movies. And, it's kind of more nostalgic than anything. I grew up with those movies, and that was my first exposure to the Batman universe. In fact, for the longest time, it was my only exposure to the Batman universe. Although I do remember seeing advertisements for the animated series, like on my Warner Brothers movies that I had, like Secret Garden. I think that was the one that they had the preview for a bunch of the animated coming out on video. God, that's so long ago. And then the one I really want to see is Downton Abbey, the movie. So I'm actually finally catching up and finishing up the series. I'm on the last season. It's one of those series that, because it's historical fiction, and it's just not, it's something that, yes, I enjoy and I love it, but I have to be in the right mood for historical fiction. And maybe it helps that I'm thinking about, even though it's a different time period, I think that thinking about Victober and reading books like one of the ones I'm going to talk about on this video, which I've already talked about, Bellman and Black, I think that kind of is, and then seeing the previews for the movie that's coming out. Actually, it's coming out this month, but I think I'll wait until October to see it with Terry. Although one of my aunts that we're gonna see at the end of this month, I could see her being interested. I don't know if she's ever actually watched the show. I don't know if she's gotten a chance to watch the show or not, but So actually, no, I think my better chances with Terry in October. Hopefully it will still be out. But that's the other thing. Like, I was trying to get some more of Bellman and Black read. And then I want to start watching some more episodes of Downton Abbey. So that's why I'm not doing that. I haven't done this video until now. Until this hour. So, enough with the rambling. Let me get to what's going on with my reading. So I'm still working my way through Joe Hill's book, and I'm not going to say the title because I can never get out what this means, what this word actually is. It's like it's referring to that the movie that came out in the 20s about the vampire, before Dracula became part of Hollywood. Cause but anyway, so far like our antagonist Charles Mance is still was in a coma, and Vic has her own life. She's an adult. She hasn't spoken to her parents in a long time, and she's actually living with the guy. I don't know if she has her own child, and actually coincidentally, her child, the guy she's living with, he wanted her to name the child Bruce Wayne. Literally, Bruce Wayne. Although his last name obviously is not Wayne, but yeah, Bruce Wayne. That's her son's name. Although she calls him Wayne. But she is living with the guy who saved her life when she escaped Charles Manx. I don't know if I'm saying his name right or not. When she escaped him, she runs into Lewis, and of course. Well, anyway, she runs into him and he helps her and everything. Unfortunately, there is a price to be paying because another group of people that try to help her and try to beat up Charles Mance. One of them ends up getting killed, and the other one gets dragged by the car, so he may as well have been killed. You may as well say he's dead too. And she kind of, as an adult, her life falls apart. She kind of screws up her life. I think she's addicted. She gets into drugs. Because as an adult, she keeps getting these calls from all the creepy little kids saying that she's a liar. And they keep calling her and just freaking her out. And I don't know, like, I guess they're saying she's a liar because she told that her dad was, that Charles was this bad guy and he's evil and he kidnapped these children. And of course, these children are now little monsters, literally. So they see him as their daddy and they're like, oh no, he didn't kidnap us. I mean, I don't know if but that's the only thing I can think, that why they keep calling her and be like, you're a liar. Oh, and they're also like basically telling her that they're starving and everything. So she had to go into rehab, and now at the point of the book I'm at, she's trying to get her life back together and fix her relationship with her son. I have a feeling that's going to go south rather quickly. I don't know if their relationship is going to reach if they're going to have a big fight or something, but I know because it's the author, what Joe Hill does throughout his story is he refers to things in the present time. He refers to things that are going to happen later in the story. So he kind of already talks about how eventually Vic is going to end up in Christmas Land. So I'm guessing Wayne or Bruce or whatever you want to call him is going to end up getting kidnapped and taken to Christmas Land. Now, I don't know. Of course, this is a horror book. So with a horror book, you can never tell how things are going to end. Like if they're going to end happy or, sad. And actually, what happens to the kids made me think of another Stephen King story, the Storm of the Century, with the New England town, and how there's this big snowstorm, so they're isolated, and this mysterious demon shows up and is like, I want to take one of your kids, so you're going to have to choose which kid I'm going to take. And the kid that's taken ends up getting transformed into a monster like this demon guy. So spoiler alert for that. Although I guess I should have said that. So I'm sorry, I probably should have warned you that would spoil that movie or story. But it reminded me that, so a lot of these there's a lot of aspects that remind me of Stephen King's work. So I'm guessing though, since Joe is his son, then inevitably that's going to happen. That his father's skills are going to come through with him. in his reign as well. So I gotta read more of that. That's taking me forever. But I just haven't the past few days I just haven't been in the mood for that kind of book. So I haven't started Everblaze or Bizarre Bad Dreams or The Fort, but I need to start those. So I'm probably gonna start when I go to the library. I'll probably read at least one of those books when I go to the library. But anyway, as for so the books from my own personal collection, I finally started reading Jade. As you guys know, I started reading the Jade Throne of Jade, which is book 2 in the Temeraire series. It looks like they're going to China, so that'd be kind of cool. It's too bad that Terry is she is very particular about books that she reads, which, again, as you know, I know that to each their own, of course. I know I complain about it all the time and stuff, but and I probably said this before a million times too, that that was not a stupid message, a text message, I keep getting the stupid message from Google saying to put in my password. I don't know what that's about, but I had no problem getting to my Google email just fine. So I don't know why this thing. I don't know if it's an update thing or what, but I keep hitting close, and nothing has happened. No negative results. But it's just incredibly annoying because it keeps popping up. And I do remember my mom saying that maybe we should just do it anyway. But I don't know. It's just incredibly annoying. But anyway, because this takes place in China, and Terry herself loves, she loves China. See, there are so many books I would love to share with her, but I don't know if she would like them because I don't know if she would like the characters. She would want to relate to at least one of the characters, which probably most people would feel that way to an extent, and so I just want to have someone to share my books with. And I'm hoping my other 2 best friends, I would get that with them, but I don't know. One of them is a bit of a slow reader and gets distracted easily, and the other one, I don't know. I don't know what her taste would be. So far, I know that Therese has read Ellen Hopkins. And, of course, she's read some classics here and there, but I'm on chapter 4 of this book, finally. And like I said, looks like the characters are going to China. But I love Temeraire in his relationship with Lawrence. It's so adorable. He's so loyal, and Lawrence almost gets arrested because the Chinese are pissed off because they're angry. I don't know if I can get away with saying that word on here. I don't want to, but they're angry because originally they were sending the dragon egg to Napoleon in the first book, and now, unfortunately, Lawrence has to answer to that. So they show up, but Temeraire and Lawrence were not having it. They do not want to be separated. So Lawrence is like, no, that ain't gonna happen. And finally, and unfortunately, they get sidetracked because there's a bit of a battle that happens. A little bit of a mini battle happens, and then the general Barham and the Chinese people, one of the Chinese princes, and then his men show up and arrive to go talk. Because Lawrence obviously is in trouble because Temeraire took off to protect him. So now, unfortunately, they decide, Barham's like, you know what, they should just take Lawrence with you, and the prince personally agrees to that. So now they are on the boat to China, but Lawrence's friend Riley and some of the Brits are not. It's a very awkward situation between the Brits and the Chinese, especially because the last experience the British had with the Chinese did not go well. So there's a lot of tension between the two countries. And like I said, again, it's the same situation with Red Seas Under Red Skies, where I don't have a lot of time at work, so I only get that little bit of break. So it's kind of hard because first of all, I have to get all the way back. The break room is in the back. That's where my snack is, so I have to go back there. So that takes a few minutes to get back there, unless I speed walk. And then, of course, I want to be back in time by that time, by the time the 15 minutes are up, I want to be back in time to get to clock back in. So it's, I don't really have a lot of time in between, maybe 5 to 10 minutes in between to really just chill and, eat or whatever, or snack or, or listen, play on my phone or whatever. In my case, read. So, and I'm not a fast reader. I have not checked to see what my words per minute speed is, and I'm mildly interested, but not completely, not so interested. Because, I'm not trying to speed read. I'm not trying to learn to speed read. I mean, I know that's one of the tricks to getting a lot of books read, but so there's that. And then I finally progressed in Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm reading this with a guy on Goodreads. It's interesting. I feel like I've been spoiled by the animated film that came out in the 90s. And, I'm expecting, going by the title and by that interpretation of the story, that I was thinking a story about Quasimodo and him falling in love with Esmeralda, but her and Phoebus getting together and all that. I mean, I remember hearing some things like that Phoebus is actually kind of a jerk in the original story in a review, because I was kind of curious about what reviewers say about the book. I didn't cheat or anything, but I did look at reviews and read them. Some people and one reviewer was talking about how disappointed they were and how horrible the characters are. But this is definitely, it's not as focused on Quasimodo. And one of the reviews said that it's actually more focused on the city of Paris at this time, and how religion affected Paris, how it really had an impact on the country, on the city. Quasimodo is just a footnote in the story. And, now I don't know about Esmeralda, but that, it's the people at Disney, I guess they took an aspect of the story of the original novel and made it more simple, make the plot a little more simplified. I mean, there's still some very adult. I feel like there's some adult themes in the story, in the movie, like Frollo having a thing for Esmeralda and being frustrated that he does, and that he's still a man with a man part. And he, how he's attracted to Esmeralda, but at the same time, he's a pious man, a man of God. He shouldn't be given to temptation, and blah, blah, blah. And that's a kid's movie, It's very weird that that's in a kid's movie. But although again, maybe we go over a child's head. But it's just, forgot. If I pause, I'm still watching Downton Abbey, and I put a pause so I can film this. I just remember if I pause it too long, it will eventually cut off. But, yep, there it goes. TV song, but the actual Blu-ray player cut off. Because there's a lot more in the book. They talk about the Palace of Justice in the first part. And the Palace of Justice, again, was another footnote in the story. And we don't see, maybe, it will be talked about in the actual chapter called Quasimodo. In the chapter about Quasimodo. I mean, maybe we'll talk about later, but like maybe in the chapter in book 3, Notre Dame, maybe we'll talk more about Quasimodo being abandoned as a baby. Because the movie, the kids movie, starts out with him being abandoned. Like, Clopin is narrating the story, and he tells about how, you know, Frollo, that the gypsy, or the, actually, I should say the, what are they called? I can't think of it. The, Romanov, that's the Russian family. I can't think of what they're called. So, the I'll think of it, but so I'm not trying to be rude here, but I can't think of the actual what the people are actually called. But the gypsies, they are being persecuted, and Quasimodo's mother and father have to, like, they're escaping, they're trying to get out of Paris, and he's left on, and Claude Frollo catches up with them. Now maybe that is going to be in the book, and maybe it won't come until the chapter called, and like I said, maybe it'll be talked about in book 3, the first chapter called Notre Dame. Maybe that's when we'll get this part of the story. But they are escaping. Claude Frollo catches up to them, and he accidentally, the rose pushes her out of the way, and she falls on the steps, and that's how she dies. I guess she cracks her skull. And I don't know what happens to his father. And Claude Frollo is about to dump the baby in the well because it's ugly. It's an ugly baby, but the archdeacon shows up and is like, you can't just throw this baby out. It's still a living, breathing human baby. You can't just, that's wrong. It's murder. And so the guy was like, and God will judge you. So Frollo's, he's like, and so Frollo's forced out of, worried about being judged and, punished, and probably worried about going to hell. And he raises Quasimodo. Keeps him locked up in Notre Dame. But it's like, it hasn't even gotten to that chapter. Like, it hasn't gotten to that part. So maybe that, like I said, maybe in the part of Notre Dame, the chapter there, maybe that will. But it's very, like I said, so far I feel like this, I agree with some of the reviewers that why it's called Hunchback Notre Dame, but it's not even really about Quasimodo. It's about the city. But I know, of course, that the changes were necessary because it's a kid movie, probably 30 minutes long. Still a beautiful story. Beautiful music was used in the movie. And then, and of course they're not gonna show Phoebus' true character in the kids' movie. They're gonna make him seem like a nice, charming guy. They're not gonna show that he's a jerk. And then, of course, but that movie was so good, even especially for a kids movie. I remember really loving it. So I'm gonna have to find out what my reading buddy thinks of the book as well. I don't know him that well yet, so I don't know what kind of, we've just been talking back and forth, and he's asking for recommendations because he sees that I like horror, although I feel guilty because, yeah, he saw that I liked horror on Goodreads, but I haven't read a lot. I've read only a few horror books, maybe a handful, or maybe only a few, but it's just, he's asking me, and I'm like, I'm the last person he should be asking for recommendations. But it did result in one good thing is that, I did recommend a Stephen King book. to him, but it resulted in us doing a buddy read, and that's good because then I will actually have a motivation to read the book. That's why I like the idea of doing buddy reads. I don't have anyone to do a buddy read with. I mean, I have Terry, but like I said, it's so hard for us to find a book that we both would absolutely love. I mean, the closest I've gotten to is that, every buddy read we've done so far are Jane Austen books, because I've been wanting to read all of her stories, even if I'm not a huge fan of romance anymore. And because I feel like how a lot of people say that Tolkien, you should read Lord of the Rings as a fantasy fan. Well, I imagine, as a classics reader and a romance reader, not that I'm a classics reader, I'm not a romance reader anymore, but that, you feel like you should read Jane Austen. So I want to read them. And I have that bind up collection, just a hard collection to read because it's those big fancy novel editions. Although I have thought about asking people, there's booktubers that, not booktubers. Well, there are booktubers I would love to buddy read with. But, so, by the way, that is a hint. If anyone's interested in doing a buddy read, I'm just my only concern about buddy reads is, and I was nervous when I was agreeing to do a buddy read with this guy, is I was worried that I wouldn't have a book that he was talking about. And my library is small, and so I was worried that it wouldn't be there, the library book, the book that he suggested we read together. And then, yes, they have a bookstore, but it takes people's donated books. And that means that they don't always have the really popular books. There's no guarantee. So I was nervous about that. Luckily, I kind of had a say in the matter, and so I was able to suggest this one. He actually might have been the one to suggest. He might have been the one to suggest this one. I can't remember. Yeah, actually, I think he was. I think he mentioned either Dickens or this one, which got me excited because I have quite a few Dickens novels, and then I have this one. And although I think I did mention Bleak House, I think I might have been the one who mentioned some of Bleak House in particular. I don't know. But anyway, I'm liking it. It's not the best book ever, and like I said, I kind of still have a love for the animated movie, even if it's a simplified version of the original story. And I have this, some of the writing style is a little hard to get into, even though, this was probably around the same time that Alexander Dumas wrote his books. But then again, although maybe it's just Victor Hugo, because I remember not liking Les Mis. It has been a long time, but I remember it kind of being boring, in all honesty. So maybe it's just Victor Hugo's writing style that I'm not a big fan of. But I'm glad I can say that I read that. And, I can say I have read Les Mis, so. But and the chapters aren't that long, so in each book, it's divided into 10 books. And the chapters in each of those books are not that long. Although I was told in a review, and a review said, skip the chapter on A Bird's Eye View of Paris. It's only 30 pages long of this guide about Hugo talking about Paris and how much he loves how beautiful the city is. And it's there's nothing, I agree, and I don't blame him for writing that chapter, but I don't know if I would, because I'm more interested in the plot itself. Okay, so the last one is let's get to, finally it's a Bellman and Black. So I'm almost done with it. Our William Bellman has been working on the shop he's gonna run with Black. I still don't know who, my theory is still that he's one of the Rook. He's the Rook. In the description, it implies that I get the implication that this is a ghost story, so maybe Black is actually a ghost, which gave me also the impression of a theory that maybe Black, the reason why he's not physically there is because he's possessed. Bellman, William. I mean, if it's a ghost story, ghosts do that. Like, maybe he's controlling him somehow. Although he's had a really good workout. He's always had a good workout, only like too good. Like, it just is really upsetting because this guy's obsessed with this little emporium, and he's like thinking, no, work is more important. He's like, and even though there are moments when, like, I'm thinking about everything else is a waste of time, and the thing I'm doing is not a waste of time, and if I do other stuff, it's a waste of time. I do sometimes have that mentality myself. And that's kind of the mentality he has, like, everything else is a waste of time, and he's super good at time management, apparently. But I don't know if I'll keep, I mean, I still like the book, but I don't know if I'll keep it. I might just return it back to the, Givens. I don't know, though, because, I mean, the problem is, like, I need to make room on my bookshelf, because, like, again, my mom she doesn't want my bookshelf to be overflowing with books, and she did say that she's not getting me another bookshelf, although she admitted that she was debating about it. And I did put that on my Amazon wish list, a particular shelf that I thought was the same color as this. But then, she was like, again, she didn't want to do it anymore, because I get it. I mean, she doesn't want me to waste all my money on books, and although I personally don't think it's necessarily that bad of a thing. I mean, I could be wasting my money on other stuff that, lost a lot of worse things to waste my money on. But it's so I might, finish it and then get rid of it. And I still say right now, even though it's been a long time, I'm pretty sure I still like the 13th Tale over Bellman and Black. And I need to get the other Once Upon a River soon. I don't know if I'll buy it myself or if I'll get it, or I'll just wait until someone gets it for me for Christmas. I mean, it is a little more expensive because it's a new book, so sometimes I don't always get new books for Christmas. So anyway, I love the lettering. I love this handwriting. So I'm so close to getting done, and I don't know. And this is another book where I don't know if it's gonna be a happy ending or not. I mean, like, horror and historical fiction are two genres that, and fantasy too. Like, actually, there's really only one genre that, that's, okay, technically not. Okay, there's really no genre that's guaranteed a happy ending, basically. That's what I'm getting at. But I think there's more of a chance of getting a happy ending rather than a bittersweet ending in a romance than any other genre. Now, as far as categories like young adult, and middle grade, I'm pretty sure that always ends on a good note. So, but basically, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I don't know what's going to happen for our characters. I don't know if William is going to fix his relationship with his daughter. And it's so sad that his daughter just resigned, and she's like, whatever, but her father is so devoted to this emporium and doesn't want to spend time with her. It's kind of sad that he's, she's, is whatever about it. Like, it doesn't faze her that he doesn't want to spend time with her. So after this one, I also want to start reading, what is it? I want to get back into reading Pet Sematary, and Blood of Elves, because I want to get those done before October. So I just gotta make sure I focused a lot of my energy on those books. it's just, like I said, it's very hard, especially because of the library books. Once I start going to the library again, I know I get crazy and get a lot of books from the library because, well, they're free. You're not wasting your money. You're not spending your money on these books from the library. So the only problem is you don't get to keep them. So you could, but take your time with them if you want. But I wanted me to return at least one book on the actual date they're due back, instead of rechecking out every single one of those books. But again, in the past, I've said this before, that I'm very lucky that at my library, I don't live in a community where I pick books that a lot of people would want to get. Maybe the young adult section and middle grade section and, kids section, I might have run into that problem. But I think, once again, someone got me thinking about The Wicked Deep, so I'm going to see if that one, I think I saw it there. I don't know. But hopefully it'll be at the library, because I want to get it. But anyway, so if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you have not already and you're interested in my channel and all my videos. And I hope you're enjoying your reading, and I will talk to you all later. Alright, bye!